Hey everybody, happy Super Bowl Sunday. It's Jochen Hayden. This is DesertWolf versus Wirraway Ace, Scenario 1 with stacking limits. Today we're in the 18th of November, 1942. Let's see what happens here. See those P-38s? Okay, welcome back. This is November 18th, 1942. We got DesertWolf and Wirraway on tap. Let's find out what happens here. A dot base on Bougainville just got captured. It's so late in this campaign to be doing that. I never understand how this game determines proximity and what bases get taken over. It's weird. Well, whatever. It doesn't make a difference. Not like the Allies were going to get that back anytime soon. Okay, let's see here. So far, nothing's really happened at night. We are starting to get a lot of moonlight. If you look up here, you'll see 78%. I believe the rules are between 90 and 100 or 95 and 100% moonlight. They can do night bombing. So we're getting kind of close to the time when they can do those things again. Okay, there's Chiyoda reported into Loggy again. I should write that down. 18 November. That could be something. We've mentioned this before, but I've seen it more than once. To log. I want to look into that some more. All right. It does not appear we're going to have any kind of naval activity this turn. Japanese ASW is working near Kwajalein. A lot of Japanese ships at Kusai Island. Oh, a Japanese sub in the Ellis Islands, huh? Okay, we got our usual sweep at Lanchow. Okay, and these sweeps at Tungi, there's probably going to be a lot of them. I'm not going to discuss them. You can see them for yourself. There's going to be a lot of these. There's not much to say about them. Just going to kind of blow through them quickly since there's no activity there. Four squadrons so far. And I'm sure we'll see the stragglers come in later too. That's a big that's a lot of Sallies. Now, this is something different. He had been using Betty's the last while to hit Lanchow, and then last turn he used Sonia's, which you know what I think about Sonia's. Now he's using Sally's, so he's relocating or reallocating his bombers. Okay, now this is a good raid, and this raid was okay. Let's talk about this. This raid is targeting the troops, not the base. So I think that's a foreshadowing of a ground attack here, which is what I've been yelling at my computer for days for him to do, right? Attack Lanchow on the ground. So he's attacking the troops, so I'm sure he's going to attack this turn. All right. And this is exactly what you want to do. You want to target the troops when you're going to attack on the ground. And then what that does is it causes disruption amongst them so that when it comes time for the ground combat, they are not as effective. Oh, and the Sonias. These guys are still targeting the base. And again, we have these bizarre bombing raids attacking kind of behind the lines here. I don't really know what for. Really accomplishing little. And Sonia's here. Useless. Absolutely useless. Why bother? uh, Sonia's. Oh, clean up on Isle Tungi. Let's send some more bombers in here just to make sure there's nothing left, right? And there's still more! I can't believe it. How many aircraft is he gonna lose here? Oh. Devastating, dude. Devastating. I can't believe how many aircraft he lost here. And more were lost on the ground than in the air. Okay, another huge raid on Nauru. You know, last turn, if you watch my video, the thumbnail is actually a picture of a B-24 flying over Nauru in 1943 in the bombing mission. I actually did some reading on the Japanese occupation of Nauru and the Allies, how they handled it. They basically bypassed the island but bombed it into oblivion. And we're kind of seeing that happen now. Although I don't know if it's DesertWolf's intention to isolate and bypass Nauru or actually land there. But this is interesting. On this turn, he's not attacking the base facilities. He's attacking the troops. And this is giving us a really good indication of what units are there. Look at this. We have a infantry regiment, Ichiki detachment, I don't know what that is, a guards mixed brigade, a rapid fire gun battalion. So it looks like 2 infantry regiments, maybe, okay, or an infantry regiment, a brigade, an artillery unit, and this Ichiki detachment. I don't know what that is. Seems to be a fair amount of troops there. But boy, they took a lot of losses. Golly, I just can't believe how many aircraft. And this is attacking the base. Is it? Yeah. So it's attacking the base or a combination of it. All right. So he's attacking the base and the troops. They just are coming in at the same time. Attacking Nauru Island. This must be a garrison unit too. And a road construction and a naval construction battalion. He's got a lot of forces here. Wow. So he's attacking the troops here heavily. So what does that mean? Is this where he's going next? Is this a foreshadowing, or is this like is he telegraphing? Or is he trying to throw me off and attacking here today, but going for Millie? DesertWolf is very sneaky. He's hard to figure out. Okay, another attack here. No Japanese aircraft destroyed this time. Oh no! What happened here? This isn't good. 3 P-38Fs versus a lot of... I don't think this is going to go well. Something screwed up here. Let's see how these P-38s can work. Oh, I think these P-38s are in trouble. Oh, yeah. These guys are in big trouble. What is this? Why would they only send 3? Is this like a uncoordinated thing, or? Oh man, look at this. 2 P-38s versus 20 Japanese fighters. Oh? They're holding their own. For how long? Oh man! This is ridiculous. Oh, there we go. Alright. I think this guy's in trouble now. Come on, guys, shoot it. There it is. Well, that went about as what you expected, right? It looks like, to me, from the animation, it looked to be an even trade. 2 zeros destroyed, 2 P-38s. Don't even trust these numbers. They're never right. But what the heck was this? Why? I don't get that. Unless we're gonna see like the rest of them show up later. I'm almost certain that those 2 P-38s that were destroyed, those pilots are toast. They're either MIA or KIA. There's no way they got back. Possibly the third one as well, because he had ops. He looks like he's going to be an ops loss because he had damage. I don't know if he's going to make it back to Pegu. Oh, the rest of them. Okay, here we go. Okay, now it's not looking. Now it's not so good for the Japanese. And did you see that? The P-38s are coming at 39,000 feet. These Japanese aircraft are not equipped to deal with that. So there was just some coordination there. So normally the way I see this is that the main body of the sweep comes in first, like the 21 aircraft would come in first, and then you have the 3 ship come in later, the leftovers that didn't make it on the first wave. For whatever reason, it went backwards, and the 3 ship went in first, and now the main body's coming in. So I don't want to sit here and watch this all night. It's getting late, so let's go ahead and fast forward. Let's see how this goes. My money's on the P-38s doing better here. But we'll see. Let's go. I don't buy that at all. So it's saying that they shot down at least 4 zeros, probably more, but I'm pretty sure we lost some P-38s as well. Okay, so we're in the PM phase now. Japanese ASW is working up there in their quadrille lane again. A lot of recon right now. You tend to see a lot more recon in the PM phase. Right, there it is. That's it. So my guess here, as we start getting ready for the land combat phase, is that Wirraway finally attacks again, at Lanchow. So let's go ahead and find out if he does. Should be the first thing we see. All right, let's go. Oh, you kidding me? I'm so frustrated with this guy. Can't stand it. Wasting time. All right. Bombardment attack. And that's inconclusive. Bombardment of Tangi. Totally inconclusive. Oh, I forgot about this. Yeah, last turn he landed here. So now he will take it. Okay. Well, now we have an idea of what he's got on Naru. So that will help DesertWolf decide if it's worth his time to go after that or just Ace Pilot is promoted to captain. Did you see that? Wow, that's pretty cool. We just saw a pilot get promoted and they gave us like a little thing about that. It's pretty rare that I see promotion statements like that. It's pretty cool. All right, yeah. A lot of refits. Okay. Let's see if we get any reinforcements here. Okay, an AK, another AK. These are cargo ships. Another cargo ship. A motor gunboat. That's it. Nothing else. I want to look into this Ace Pilot guy. Like, what's that about? Okay, we got to see a really great fighter sweep here this turn. Let's look at how well they did. I think you'll be surprised. Okay, aircraft losses for this turn 16-3, and for once it wasn't ground losses that was hurting the Japanese. These guys got straight dominated in the air. 13 A6M50s were destroyed. 12 of those were in the air versus 3 P-38F losses, which is a 4-to-1 kill ratio. That's scary. If I were a Japanese player right now, I'd be scratching my head like wondering what else I could possibly do to stop this, because just I don't know. Golly, I don't want to be a Japanese player if this is what I got to deal with, man. This is not good. Okay, so we have a lot to discuss with top pilots this turn. There was only one KIA today, but unfortunately it was kind of a big deal. So if we search by name, let's take a look at, oops, hold on, let me make this work again. There we go. The one pilot that was killed was Lieutenant McMillan. He was unfortunately an ace, and he was one of the pilots that was shot down over Tavoy. So we lost an ace today, but we made other ones, and we'll talk about those when we get to it. Okay, so Army lost points this turn. 2 for the Allies, 1 for the Japanese. No ship sunk this turn. The Allies went up 8 total points this turn to bring the Japanese win ratio down to 1.589. DesertWolf gained an additional 50 political points last turn to bring it up to 216. He did not use any last turn. So this is always going to be a lagging indicator when I talk about it, because we won't know if he spends anything until the next turn, because this is his points tally at the start of this turn. And remember, I get the turn before he makes any edits to it. So if he spends any political points, we won't see it till the next turn. So it's a lagging indicator, but I still want to show it to you guys. Okay, so I went through the combat report. Nothing in here that we didn't see. No hidden details about minesweeping or weird stuff going on. SIGINT. Now we got some stuff to talk about. All right. So I was scrolling through this, And I noticed for the past few days, I've been seeing mentions of radio transmissions at Paramashiro Jima. I was like, okay, whatever. But now, look at this. 21st AA Regiment is planning for an attack on Amchatka Island. And 53rd Division located at Paramashiro Island. So, there's a couple possibilities here. Possibility 1, he just wants the space to be strong because he doesn't want to lose it. Possibility 2, he is sick and spoofing DesertWolf by planning for an attack on an island over here in the Aleutians that he's not actually going to attack on, just to throw him off balance. Or option 3, Wirraway is planning an operation and intends to re-attack the Aleutian island chain. So you didn't see this, but I mentioned it when I first started this series that earlier in the campaign, Wirraway, the Japanese player, basically conquered the bulk of the Aleutian Islands early in the campaign. So he did invade and take most of these bases. And DesertWolf took them back over time, right? We recently got to see Attu fall, and then that was basically the last base of any value that the Japanese owned here. However, maybe Wirraway is trying to come back here, and he's actually picking a good time to do it, possibly because this convoy is leaving, and it's got a lot of troops, a lot of offensive and defensive firepower on board, and he's leaving Amchatka, heading down to Pearl. Now, I'm not saying he actually knows this, but it's a coincidence. So I think we need to start paying a little more attention to Paramashiro, and I also think that DesertWolf needs to go ahead and build up Attu and get it repaired and get it functioning again, and move this PBY squadron over to Attu Island, because with a range of 20 for spotting, he could easily get this ring, or this ring. Well, he already has this ring out here far, but it gets really spotty, the spotting, when you go extended. But he can move this blue and black ring into Paramashiro so he can get a little better visibility on what's going on here. So that's something we need to watch for. That might be something. It might be something. I don't know. Also, during the turn, we had Coast Watchers report CVL Chiyoda at port in Tulagi. Now, again, this is not the first time I've seen this. I've seen it a couple times. And now we see additional ship activity at Tulagi. So there is credible evidence that at least one Japanese light carrier is at Tulagi, possibly another one at Rabaul, possibly more somewhere else in here. We have no idea where the Kido Butai is at right now. I'm wondering if we're maybe planning some sort of operation with these carriers down here in the Gilberts or up here in the Marshalls. So hopefully DesertWolf is watching all this as well. Maybe nothing. Maybe I'm making something out of nothing, but I think it's worth looking at. Okay, looking at ops report. This is where we got to see a lot of the activity with the P-38F squadron that did the crazy sweep over to Voice. So we have a new ace here. We have 2 pilots now at 7 kills and 1 at 6. Let's take a look at this squadron, because they've been very... This is probably one of the best ones on the map right now. It's right here. This is the P-38 squadron that swept over to Voy. They have 71 kills. And look at these pilots. This is probably the biggest concentration of expert pilots that I've seen in this campaign yet. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pilots that are eligible for the TRACOM if they want to go there. A total of 5, 6, 7 aces. This is no joke squadron. This is dangerous for the Japanese. I hope he's careful dealing with these guys. Alright. Anything else in the ops report? We already talked about Lieutenant McMillan being killed. And here's something that I saw during the turn, and it's backed up in the ops report. I thought this was really cool. Ace pilot Johnson Yu promoted to captain. So that's really cool that we actually get to see promotion statements. Now, you may recall Johnson Yu is the highest scoring American ace right now with 8, but he's wounded in action. So we can find him. Oh, sorry, it's under pilot replacements. We'll go all and sort by name. Where's he at? Johnson U. There he is. He get promoted to captain. He's still wounded, so what needs to happen is he needs to get a return date. So my opinion on this is that, and based on what I've seen in the game, they kind of sit in the reserve here, or in the group pool, unless you release them. Now, some people say they come back eventually. That might be true, but for as long as I've been playing this game, they sit here a long time before they do anything. So I like to go ahead and go in here and send them to the reserve, right? Like this. And what that does, so let's go Underwood J, right? So we go to reserve. You notice that some of these wounded pilots that I gave I transferred to the reserve, it triggers a return date for them. If it does not, that means you're not going to get them back. It means they're permanently disabled. So at that point, it's best to just dismiss them unless they're like a very historic pilot, one that's got like 7, 8, 9 kills, and you want to keep them around for posterity. You could do that. But at this point, if they're not going to get a return date, it does you no good to keep them around. They're just going to clog up your list, and you can just retire the pilot, and they're gone forever. So I think that's what needs to happen to Johnson Yu. He's just going to wallow in the group until, longer than he should. Okay, let's talk about the turn. We'll start in China, and this won't take long because, once again, Wirraway won't attack in Lanchao. He's driven me crazy. I don't understand why he won't attack. He even, was telegraphing an attack by bombing the troops here. Instead of the base, he bombed the troops. Right? And did a decent amount of disruption. Look at these disruption numbers. For the love of everything that's holy, please attack. These units will fall over in a stiff wind if he attacks right now. I don't understand why he's not attacking. I get that he's cautious, but he needs to take a little more risk here. Ugh, attack already. Right, nothing else really happened down here except he's bombing random units all over the place. Right? I don't really get why he's attacking there. Now, he also has this force trying to flank around here. Maybe he's trying to slow down reinforcements from moving in to block him. But there's already a blocking force here. So I don't know what his end goal is right now. I don't know. His strategy down here is muddled. The one up here makes sense, but he's not being aggressive enough. Okay, so in Burma and Thailand, we saw another bombing attack on Tongi to keep damage on the field and to clean up the last few aircraft that are still on the ground there. There should be basically nothing left. I've been saying that for a while, but every time he bombs, another damaged aircraft is destroyed. But in the end, this Tongi operation for the Japanese proved to be incredibly costly and was not worth it. They lost more aircraft on the ground than they shot down in the air, if I look at the numbers correctly. So that's not a good trade. Again, we already talked about it, but we saw the P-38F raid on Tavoy, and that was a dangerously effective sweep for the Allies. So the issue here is that these P-38s get to come in force, with the exception of that weird, small sweep followed by a large one that normally goes the other way around, but it didn't seem to hurt these guys at all. These guys came in at 39,000 feet, which is their maximum altitude, and while I'm pretty sure that most of these Japanese fighters can fly up there, they're not going to be any good. And the P-38F still has a lot of maneuver band at that altitude. So it's really, the P-38 has the advantage on the sweep. And I don't really know what you can do as the Japanese to fix it. I know I hear about layered cap and this and that, but even then, it doesn't seem to help. And this squadron has some of the best pilots that DesertWolf has. So if I were the Japanese, I'd be very nervous about having any aircraft operating on here now, because nothing is safe. Nothing is safe from the bombers or now the P-38s. This is bad. Okay. Sarong has finally been taken by the Japanese. I don't know why we're dealing with this now, but we are. So we'll see if he goes to try to clean up the rest of these dot bases and these other Dutch held bases, which really have nothing of any value but a couple points at this point. Nothing's really happening in Australia. South Pacific's quiet, other than these guys trying to make their way into Suva. We talked about them last turn. A lot of ships at Tulagi right now with the potential of the light carrier Chiyoda operating here. Another big bombing raid on Nauru, and this time he's targeting the troops. So if we look at some of those bombing raids here, we got a good read on what troops are in Nauru. See if I can find it here. Might be further down. Maybe I missed it. Oh, right here. We can see some of these units that are there. Look at this. So he's got a fair amount of firepower at Nauru, which is, you know, would make it difficult to invade. I'll say that. But interestingly, he's not attacking Millie. And I think he needs to start looking at it, because I'm seeing a lot of aircraft on the ground at Millie. And based on how well the 4-engine bombers have been performing, he could probably take most of these guys out on the ground. The only thing I also see here is that there's a lot of fighters now at Maloelap, which we didn't see last turn. They may be flying cap over Millie. So let's see if we can get some of these P-38s into the fight. You know, we got old Richard Bong over here, and he's hurting for a scorton. He's aching for a fight. So let's see if he if we get some action over Millie next turn. The other thing I wanted to point out to you was that there seems to be a lot of Japanese surface combat vessels at Kusai Island. I don't really know why, but they're there. So we should watch this carefully in case they want to venture out. But if they do, they better be careful, because they're right at the edge of the American submarine sweep or a patrol zone, right? Oh, something else that I noticed here. Where's it at? No. Oh, that's it. Okay. Do you remember this guy? This was that unit that had the task force that had those 13,000 troops on board. Well, we finally know where they went. They landed at Macon. So all those troops that they had packed up are just being forward deployed to Macon Island. Maybe as a jumping off for an attack on Millie in the future, but that's where they're at right now. So we spotted those guys. All right, I think that's it. We talked about a lot this turn. It was very interesting to sweep. The weird SIGINT up in the Aleutians, that's something to watch out for. We got some weird Japanese naval activity at Tulagi. It's just a lot going on right now. A lot of different angles for me to watch. So I'm having to be a lot more careful when I scroll through this turn stuff before I make these videos, because there's little things happening everywhere that I'm not noticing until it's too late. So I'm trying to catch them ahead of time. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.